folks, just like to talk about the E Phrygian mode across the whole of the fingerboard pretty much. Now the E Phrygian mode, in other words the Phrygian mode in the key of E, is probably the most useful, certainly to begin with, the most useful scale mode that you can learn for flamenco guitar. Now, the Phrygian mode, or scale, whichever you want to call it, is also relative to the A natural minor scale and the C major scale. In other words, if you start on C and play an octave of all natural notes, no sharps or flats, you get yourself a major scale. If you start on an A and play the same notes, all natural notes, you will end up with a minor scale structure. Now if you play those same notes, all natural notes, no sharps or flats, but you begin on an E, and E is your root, then you get the Phrygian mode, the Phrygian scale. So those three scales have the same notes in them, but if you begin on a different note, then you get a different structure because it changes the intervals between the notes. Anyway, do that and it instantly sounds Spanish, whatever you do. The big difference basically with flamenco pieces, flamenco that's in E Phrygian, is that, strictly speaking, if you stuck to only those scale notes, the E chord would be a minor chord because there is no, the E major chord contains a G sharp note. But there is no G sharp note in the scale. It would be a G natural, which would mean that your E chord would, strictly speaking, should, according to the rules, be an E minor. But that's not a very powerful root note to conclude on. So people have chosen to play an E major at the end of everything. So that's just the exception. Now, of course, it's a bit like jazz, a bit free, creative kind of stuff. Flamenco doesn't only stick strictly to those notes, it'll throw in other notes as it evolves more. A bit like when you play the blues, you begin learning the blues using the pentatonic minor, and then after a while you throw some other notes in alongside it. So that happens too, but for the moment we'll just stick with the E Phrygian, A minor, C major, all natural notes. So in order to play it all over the board, you need to know all the natural notes all the way up the neck. Now, a simple way of learning and doing this is to just play various scales in different positions. So what I have here and what I played in the introduction was, in the open position, if you play all natural notes, you will get an E Phrygian in the open position. Right? Now if I come to move myself up to the third fret for third position, I can do a scale that starts on the G note on the third fret, and it's the kind of pattern that rock players often use as a sweep pattern. But you can just use it like like this. So basically I begin on the G and I play all natural notes in this position. And then just come up. Then I can come up to the A minor position at the 5th fret, the A there, and there's that. Then I can move up to the 8th fret and I can play a C major scale pattern. So, and there's a C at the top there, but I just, in that position you can reach an extra one, so I put the D on the top there. So there, now, with those various patterns, I've actually covered from the open position to the 10th fret. You've only got to just go up, and you've a couple more frets, you've got your E at the top there. So we've almost covered the neck by just using those scale patterns. Now I'm not going to tab out or you show close-up or anything. I can't. This camera's no good for close-ups. Those patterns. You can learn them from any books and lots of other rock videos. You can learn those scale patterns, you know, anywhere. So if E Phrygian is the same thing as A minor or A natural minor or the Aeolian mode and C major. So if you use those various patterns, that's got your neck covered for you. And a great thing here at the C position, the 8th fret, the 3rd note of that scale is an E on the 5th string. And you can go. So if you take it there, you've got E. If you just move from there, you've got yourself an E Phrygian at the 8th fret, 7th fret position. On a major chord. Then, so learning those scale positions is a good way of getting down the Phrygian mode over the whole neck by mixing those patterns. I'll just go through them again. Excuse me. 3rd fret, 5th fret, 8th fret, and then you can also then figure out what those natural notes are up and down each string, and then you can link them all together. You've got yourself lots of ammunition for composition improvisation. For instance, from here you go. Food for thought.